Well, hello, community. Welcome to this Blue Star Careers webinar supporting our last week of Military Spouse Appreciation festivities. Thank you so much for watching today. Please tell us where you're watching. We'd love to be able to send you a shout out, enjoy your participation, and of course, send you warm wishes through these virtual waves. Today, we hope that you enjoy participating in, of course, in the giveaways, and you have enjoyed all month long of programming to celebrate all military spouses here through Blue Star Families all month long. But also today, right now, we are about to engage into a really purposeful discussion. And we have a special guest with us today. We have Leslie Coffey, who is the Vice President of Military Spouse Engagement at ACP. ACP stands for America Corporate Partners, which facilitates free mentoring program connections for post 9/11 veterans, active duty spouses, and eligible spouses with corporate professionals for customized mentorship. So, if you are in the job search, if you have career gaps, if you have just questions in general, how to get the next career, maybe a mentor can be the answer for you. And not maybe, actually, a mentor can be the answer for you, of course. It is definitely a great opportunity for you to not do any job search, job upskilling, or just in general growth on your own. Veterans and eligible spouses can get the support they need via these mentorship program by identifying fulfilling long-term careers, but also just identifying where is the next step to do what you need to do in order for you to continue with that meaningful, satisfied work. Now, Leslie will walk us through the process, of course, and reiterate the importance of supporting your career journey by connecting with a mentor. So, if you have any questions, please again continue to post those. We'll highlight those towards the end. We want to make sure that you get connected ASAP with an ACP mentor. But most importantly, we also want to know where you're watching and send you notifications on how to enjoy some of those last minute giveaways that we have available here through Blue Star Careers. So without further ado, let's get started. Well, hello. See, that tune always just makes me and gets me the just a very positive, ready to engage into very meaningful discussion. So again, welcome back to this Blue Star Careers webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, Leslie, for supporting this discussion, but also thank you for the audience who is engaged and also is participated all month long through different appreciation activities, but also giveaways. So thank you, everyone. Leslie, I think everyone knows you already in our community, but would you please briefly introduce yourself again? Reminders also about yourself, your military spouse connection, and also what your amazing role at ACP is all about.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for having me back. It's always such a joy to join you and especially be amongst my peers. I am now a veteran spouse of about 3 months, but before then, I was a seasoned spouse. My service member just wrapped up 30 years, and I was a part of almost 28 of those. So I absolutely understand the lifestyle. My first 25 years of being a military spouse, the Army always made my decision for me to resign. It wasn't my decision, right? We had orders, we had to move. It wasn't until COVID that I was able to maintain my employment. And I'm so thrilled to be with you today to talk about mentorship, to talk about ACP, because my mentor through ACP was a game changer. She helped me increase my pay by 67% from the middle of the Mojave Desert. So I joined the team really because I see this as a gift to give this community I've been a part of for, 28 years now.
Absolutely. What a difference it makes when you come across a resource or a product or service, or, in this case, your mentor, the services, of course, through ACP, and then you become a user. But not only that, then you get to be an ambassador of this great opportunity for all of our community to be aware of, and then you of course are uh, a reflection of how utilizing mentorship really can introduce you to a whole new level of career
Mhm.
journey and empowerment. And so I'm really glad to hear that it really worked out for you. And I know it has worked out for a lot of members in our community when we shared, the organization, and everyone posts great benefits and great feedback as well. But I do want you to also give me a little bit more recap. You mentioned you're now a veteran spouse. So how's veteran life working for you so far, right? But
Right.
also, how did you get here? How did you join, or just give us a little walk of your own transition through this career challenge slash joyful military lifestyle? How did you get here, Miss Leslie?
Well, it was an interesting journey, we can say. Much like most, I'm certain that are tuning in. Again, my first 25 years, it was always resigning and starting over. I climbed the ladder and have to prove myself and have an opportunity only to have to let it go and start the process all over again. I mean, in our last 9 years of service, we moved 7 times. So that gives you an example of continuously changing and trying to prove yourself. There was even a time when I opened my own career center, and I had to, the Army called about 22 months early. We had to move. I had to actually interview for my replacement, which is like the equivalent of interviewing like a stepmom for your kids. Is the only thing I can equate it to, because it was like this was my baby. I saw it from ground up, cut the ribbon with the mayor, and having to figure out somebody to replace it and take care of my baby. So I promise there's hardly anything that you might throw my way that I've not experienced myself, including my undergrad. For my undergrad, I went to 7 universities because of all the moves with the military. So, if any of this rings true to you, I promise you're not alone. I have right there wearing the T-shirt alongside you.
Absolutely, that really resonates. And by the way, my complete, admiration goes to our Army families, and of course, everyone, of course, in general, all of our bunch of services. That we all have our very unique challenges and set of, orders, right, and requirements, or sort of a encouragements to enjoy life in a different way. But I know that I thought I had it really bad. I was like, oh my God, we moved 6 times and back and forth from California to Oregon and all these places when he deployed. Then I started getting to know more about Army life, and the like you said, the orders come in earlier, or oh, less than a year. Sorry, we got to go. And I was like, did you just get there? Did you just come?
Yes.
Yeah, but Army calls, and then I started doing a little more research, and I was like, gosh, the amount of uncertainty, and also, the constant moves that goes through military life, but also through the Army side. It just yeah, it became a little bit more eye opener, and built a little bit more awareness, and how sometimes certain branches of services, we can extend a little bit more support, but not only that, but also more just awareness of resources that can empower those military spouses, the community, and the veterans themselves as well too, because they, that move eventually gets to them as well, when they're still active duty, although they enjoy the work. Now, Miss Leslie, we have a very special announcement. That's why we are, continuously, we continuously support, of course, and work together. But this particular month, we have given a little sprinkles of love and appreciation with a couple of postings here and there. But today we're really making it official because we want to really hit stronger waves, virtual waves. And before we end the month, we have a specific goal, you and I, that we are trying to make sure that our community can help us and empower others. So, can you
Mhm.
tell us a little bit what we're working on behind the scenes with ACP and Blue Star Families careers?
You know what, Laura? I am so thrilled for this. We've been waiting a long time for this, but we actually have the opportunity to assess 500 military spouses together. 500 that can have the opportunity to just totally change their entire professional trajectory. That's what my mentor did for me. And you talked about the moving. Actually, it was in the middle of my PCS. We had 3 weeks to move from coast to coast. that I was in the middle of my mentorship. So she came in at a really important time because, again, I was on the hunt again for a new opportunity. We had 3 weeks notice right in the middle of the school year. So, but now we can together, we can take what we've, these journeys that we've walked together, you and I, and we can help the peers and those of us coming up, those coming up behind us.
Absolutely. And 500, you know, links, military spouse connections, mentor connections, all of these, this particular goal that Leslie and I have, and we really, really would love to. Of course, along the month of May, we have given already some of those spots to members, but we still have some more. So
We
if you
do.
know someone, or if you know of a spouse who is moving, as you know, also one of the posts that we shared throughout the month was, if you are PCSing, when you are relocating to another location, don't do it alone. I mean,
Mhm.
other eyes that are already located in some of those locations, the East Coast, the West Coast, you know, you name it, wherever you're going, have better understanding on what the community is like, what the challenging aspects of finding new employment. But not only that, they already have a network, established network in those communities, that guess what? Their network becomes your network when you're moving
Mhm.
to those places. So don't do it alone, and take advantage of these 500 sort of immediate connections that we're going to try to do a fast and furious for you. Of course, bear with me. There's always some time that it takes a little bit of time, of course, for you to get connected. But we want to really take your information through this special link that we're going to share right on the in the comments, so that you can get added towards this specific mission that we have going on here. And as we close May, we have the numbers we need to support you, and then the rest of the summer, of course, it just gets more beautiful for you, for your career, your family, and overall your long-term trajectory and,
Mhm.
and journey as well. So, but I doing a lot of talking. I really want Miss Leslie to tell me a little bit more about the history of ACP. Those of you who are not familiar, because I know someone asked me, what is ACP, and what, you know, how does it benefit? So I want Miss Leslie, who is, of course, old dude's guru from ACP in general, tell me a little bit more about what ACP stands for, what is the mission, the intention of, and how it was created.
Well, let's start off with making sure that we emphasize that it is free. What we're
Free.
doing
Oh,
here today, the two of us, this is a completely free opportunity. What ACP does is help you to figure out what you want to do and how to get there. The tool we use is customized mentorship. So, regardless of where you are in your journey, regardless of your season of life, your experience level, what your goals, what your interests are, we take a very customized approach to helping to identify somebody that would help you along that way, walk that journey beside you, be a sounding board, kind of like someone once told me that our mentors are like a career Sherpa. And I thought that was brilliant.
yeah.
It's really somebody that is going to guide you along the way, like you said, potentially open their network, show you how to land and thrive once you're in a great position. But it's a year-long journey together because it doesn't happen overnight. Even if you do land a position within the first month, you still keep your mentor, Laura, because then you got to integrate, you got to thrive, you have to do performance reviews, you need to maybe negotiate your salary, negotiate a raise. There's so many things, even once you've landed a job, that you need that support system, that sounding board on the outside. But for where we came from, our foundation, we've actually been around for 15 and a half years now. Our founder, Sid Goodfriend, he was actually on 9/11. He was there on 9/11. And that was the whole reason, and that changed his whole trajectory and made him want to give back and go into some type of public service to give to those that were going to be sacrificing for his family and, of course, for our country. And it took him a few years, but understanding what a mentor did for his journey, opening doors, making the right introductions, guiding him along the way, that is why we focus specifically on mentorship.
Wonderful. Isn't that Isn't that beautiful how sometimes the recipients of great service, great support, but also, just the engagement kind of leads to great services and products. And I don't necessarily want to put it in a product like a business mindset, but products and services that others can enjoy because we get to replicate all these great support for others, what he received, what you received. And then, of
Mhm.
course, what we're doing here through Blue Star Careers is really just continue visibility for all these great amazing resources for our members to take advantage. So thank you so much for walking us through all of that. Now I am curious though, all these mentors, and it's so great to have someone connected. Now where do they come from? How do you find all these great people that are willing to give their time to support ACP and those who signed up with you guys?
So, about 80% of our mentors come from our corporate partners. We are very fortunate to have more than 110 corporate partners, lots of logos that you may recognize, Fortune 100 companies, and you name the career path, and we have a mentor in that industry. And it doesn't have to be just corporate either, as actually you can see here on the screen. Major League Baseball, you have academia with Harvard and University of Texas, healthcare. We've got social workers, nursing, civil servants, like if you wanted to get into the GS system, or if you were looking into protective services. Again, you name the industry, you name the career path, and we're going to have a mentor there that can guide you along the way. Actually, Laura had a spouse that wanted to be a zoologist, and we found her a mentor. And
Oh,
so obviously that's not corporate, right? So put the onus on us. If we want to launch a business, we have entrepreneurs, small business owners that make for phenomenal mentors as well.
awesome. I was going to ask you to share a success story, and obviously this is a great, amazing success story and a really rare, unique career trajectory as zoologist. What an incredible way to connect someone who is sort of outside of the normal career
Mhm.
routines within the admin, the regular office scenario. A zoologist could be a really great, adventurous career. So that's fantastic. Thank you
I'd
for
love
sharing.
to share a recent one.
Yeah, tell me, please.
We just had a disabled veteran spouse. She's a caretaker, actually, and her son is neurodivergent. And she came to us because she wanted to kind of tiptoe back into the workforce after a gap, after being a caregiver for so long. And so she was interested in starting with vlogging. And it was with vlogging that we paired her with a producer from CBS
Oh,
who
wow.
actually used to be at Fox. They've worked for a few months together now, and you know that her videos have already had 2 million views in just a few months. And what I love the most about what she shares about her mentor, it's not the views. It is the empathy that he's given her. It's the support that he's given her. It's the somebody finally pouring into her when she's been pouring for all these years as a caregiver for
Yeah.
both her spouse and her child. And it was just allowing somebody to pour into her. And now they're just taking off. And this is just a few months together.
Wow, this is incredible. That's definitely a great success story, because those are two different career trajectories and
Mhm,
individuals. One, obviously, she's exploring her reintegration into the workplace. Zoologist, that's a fantastic, that's a very unique career, but very focused. And then a caregiver. Yes, you have no idea. I'm testing the waves of caregiving right now, by the way, and
mhm,
let me tell you, it's challenging sometimes. It's the process, the systems, everything else in there, so I can see how definitely she would have so many stories, so much
mhm,
empowerment to share back, but needed the direction of professionals like the
mhm,
one that you guys connected her to do that. That's fantastic. I do want to also mentioned, when you were sharing a little bit about where these mentors come from and what potentially they can do for you. I just want to highlight also for our audience that you know and I'm sure you can sympathize with this, Leslie, that career trajectories and career needs change as we season more into the
mhm,
season, right?
mhm,
What my desires or what I thought I wanted to do maybe 3 or 4 years ago has completely changed to what I will
Mhm,
think I want to do in 2 years. So don't be afraid to try new things and to
mhm.
pair up with someone just so that you can brainstorm more different ideas. It doesn't mean you become a zoologist by next month or next week and you start applying for jobs. It means you create a journey and a strategy and a plan for you to maximize the connections that ACP will do for you, but also how you can do that. Also align it with your family dynamics and your lifestyle and where you're going to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years when you want to hit that particular plan, so that at least you can visualize it. And once you visualize it, then things will start taking place. At least I think
Well,
that, right?
Laura, I have to tell you, I love that so much because that's exactly where my mentor started with me. The career exploration part, right? She actually had a term for it. She called it window shopping.
There you go.
Going through and comparing different jobs, eliminating which ones I probably wasn't a good fit for, and focusing in and narrowing my scope on which ones would be the best fit. And that's exactly where we started our journey together. So if you're undecided, I promise you, most of those coming into our program are about 86%. So you're not alone. You're absolutely in the majority. Don't think that you're the only one that doesn't have it figured out yet. Let the mentor help to guide you and figure out what's the best fit.
Absolutely. Yes. And and be patient with yourself and
Mhm,
with the mentor and with the process as well. Because life is just so unpredictable sometimes that,
mhm.
having the one individual who is there to back you up, to guide you, to support you, or just listen, sometimes to listen. Sometimes I get on calls with individuals who are looking for jobs or have already applied, and just by listening, they're like, "Oh, I think I got it." I'm like, "Perfect. I'm glad I listened." I'm not myself a mentor or consider myself a mentor, but I definitely a good listener when somebody has questions. I cannot imagine what having a really purposeful discussion with an ACP, professional through the program will do for my career in 2 years, 3 years aspiration. So, but
Mhm.
great, yeah, absolutely. So, one more question I want to ask you, that I have here through one of our members that shared, what additional resources or services can they be expected through ACP besides the 1 year connection with the mentor? Are there anything else
Well,
that you guys provide? Yes.
oh, so many things. One of
Yes.
my favorite things is that those logos that we saw that we shared with you just a moment ago, we actually
May I
go
bring it
live
back?
with them. There we go. We go live with them twice a week. So
Wow.
you get to learn about a career at Major League Baseball and what it's like. There's a lot more than just being on the field, or maybe a career at Disney or the WWE. The director of marketing for the WWE is a mentor in our program, as is the director of cybersecurity and threat awareness. Spouse may never have thought of like cyber in WWE, but they exist. And that's exactly what the mentors open your eyes to, possibilities you never knew existed. So if any of these companies may have interest, or you might not have heard of them, not really sure what it is they do, joining our live sessions, learning just like you do, Laura, with your career events. There is just so much there that you never even thought about. One of my favorite is with Unilever. It's there at the bottom row. He's the director of ice cream planning. He was a logistician in the military. His job is to taste every Ben and Jerry's before it hits the market. And I'm like, where was this job? How did I not learn about it before this event? These are the kind of things that you can learn from tuning in to our live events every Tuesday and Thursday, following us on LinkedIn. Another thing that we offer is we do a resume collection from those that opt in. It's not something we do for you. If you opt in and you'd like us to share your resume with our partners, you absolutely can do so. That is something that we do offer, and a lot of our partners are actively hiring, and they hire from those resumes that we gather. Something else that is kind of unknown is that we can even provide information calls with other mentors in addition to your mentor that's there by your side for the year. And I'll give you a quick example. My spouse's mentor was from Disney, and he is an executive with the streaming service. But we're in Kentucky, Laura. So, newsflash, Disney's not hiring in Kentucky, right? We're not in Florida or anywhere else that they're hiring. So, he did reach out to his point of contact at ACP and ask, I'm new to the area. You know, I settled here, but this is not where my last installation was. I'd like to expand my network in the area. Do you happen to have any mentors within Kentucky? And you know, the HR business manager for Lockheed Martin was 45 minutes up the street. And so that led to 5 more conversations. So it's all about,
Nice.
you know, asking the questions, because not only do you have that mentor with you for that year-long journey, but you actually have an ACP point of contact, and they're checking in with you every single month. Do you need any resources? Are there any gaps in knowledge? Is there anything I can do to help? So regardless of the ask, looking for scholarships, looking for certifications, whatever it is, all you got to do is communicate with them, and they'll go on the hunt for that resource for you.
I love it. Thank you so much for expanding more visibility of all these great resources. That is phenomenal. I did not know about that ice cream tasting opportunity.
We miss it.
Isn't that? Oh, where was I when I was shopping for a job? Huh? Obviously, I didn't have a mentor who can coach me or tell me about all these very unique careers. So, but I'm glad that I found you guys now. By the way, I want to encourage all of those members who are watching to please continue the link for you to register and like Fast and Furious register. It takes very little time. Trust
Mhm.
me, I did it. I did it on my phone, and it literally took me like 2 minutes or less. It goes fast, 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 and it's a
Wonderful.
very specialized link just for our members
Just
here
to
at
be in
Blue Star
touch.
Families, so we
Mhm.
can track you, so we know that you got there, you got the services, and if for some reason something happened in the way, that's okay. Just bear with us. Life happens sometimes, but we'll make sure that you're taken care of. And that's why that specialized link is very important for you to complete that
Mhm.
only and only one. And I have a couple more questions for Leslie, but I want to just our members who are actively right now commenting to please help us reach 500 members. Help us reach you. So help us reach you. Help us reach you. But also pay it forward for your
Mhm.
spouses, your service member, your transitioning veteran spouse. I'm gonna ask Leslie a little bit about his transitioning service spouse and how
Mhm.
he found careers. Like I know in my personal experience, Hector said, "No more corporate jobs for me. No,
Mhm.
nothing. I don't want to do
Mhm.
anything. Don't want to walk the gate back and forth. I don't want to show my ID. I don't want to be tied into anything." So he
Mhm.
does his own little sort of odd things here and there. But other service members who may still need you know, the ability to still work or engage or find that other next mission for themselves is very important to for the family as well for transition. Nowadays we need two incomes for most part in most locations, so staying employed even post military while you find your next mission is extremely important. Tell me about the experience for service members, Leslie. Describe that and how that can also be kind of like a whole family affair of mentorship for everyone.
Oh, you know what? We actually have pairs that are going as far as spouse,
Yeah.
husband and wife, or you know, serv or partners that go through together, and I really love those stories. So my service member started about a year out from terminal, and he had no idea. Military is all he's known since he was 30 years old, and of course times had or for 30 years since he was 17 years old. And of course, times have changed. There's no more newspapers or paper applications. And so his mentor was a sounding board for him. There was a lot of times where he was not getting feedback. He'd apply. He thought it was like, is it me? Am I too old? You know, they don't want me. And what his mentor is able to do is, because it can be a very isolating journey, I tell you.
Yes.
And what his mentor is able to do is say, actually, it's the season, it's the cyclical nature of hiring. It just happened to be like January. And he's like, they're getting budgets together. There's a lot of staff changes in most organizations. People are laterally promoting or moving. And so there's figuring out where there are vacancies. So it's just not the right time. And it was having that person like let him, reassuring him that it's not him, reassuring him that he does have value to continue to add toward an organization, and giving him an employer perspective. This is what goes on this side. So it's a help to calm his nerves, to help calm his anxiety. And I will tell you, they've completed their year, and he's already checked on him 3 times in his new position. So I'm still in touch with my mentor, and it's been almost 6 years now. So you establish these relationships, this foundation of trust, this person that really is volunteering only to see you succeed, because we only give them one person. So that is why they're signing up, because they want to help you. And a lot of times these relationships continue long after ACP's formal role is concluded.
Absolutely. I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing your spouse's journey. I know that I think that's probably why one of those factors or the driven forces of sending Hector to do his sort of an entrepreneur own kind of owner of his own thing, sort of say, if I may put it that into plain blunt words, he's because he was getting rejected through the first year or so when he was transitioned, no feedback, he was getting rejected, and I was helping him, but they don't necessarily sometimes want the help from you. They need to have an external force, coach and mentor them. And plus they're being conditioned so many years that figure it out, do it on your own, don't ask for help, right? Or at least that's the case with Hector. He's completely proud not to be asking for help and trying to figure it out. So this is a great tool as well for military spouses to share with their spouse, with their transition service members who is also going through the process of not knowing what the next move might be after so many years. By all
Mhm.
means, take advantage of this as well. So, okay, Leslie, as we get ready to wrap up this discussion, of course, we want to just remind our audience to please pose your questions, pose your comments. And if for some reason we cannot take care of them for you today because we are running a little bit out of time and want to make sure that Leslie goes back to ACP and helps us take care of all these mentorship applications, but also but as oversees that we continue to add more great talent into the mentorship program with corporate partners as well and oversees that, and then we got to go and do some jobs over in the military spouse careers community as well too. So but we want to remind you to please post your questions, share your comments, meet us in the neighborhood if we have more additional follow-up. Would love to be able to support you there also more directly. And any comment or any question that is unanswered here through all social waves, we'll come back and make sure that you get a reply right away within the same day. So um, don't feel that you're this alone or we're going to ignore it. We'll take care of you right away. So Leslie, any last thoughts or any messages that we can do for call to action? Oh, one last thing, I'm sorry, I did wanted to ask you about the process. So I did complete in mine. I haven't checked my email back again. I know I got a little bit of the feedback, thank you, you submitted your application, we evaluate the initial one almost within 5 minutes after submitting, but what's next? What is for those who have not yet completed that,
Mhm.
describe the process and what it will be, can be expected.
Absolutely. So once you do apply, you're going to hear from us within a day. Now, I will tell you, as a .org organization, sometimes our emails land in spam. So just know you're going to hear from us within a day. Double check that spam in the event something happens. But we're going to reach out. We're going to find a time to talk. Let's say, hey, we're going to talk Tuesday at 10 o'clock. We're going to agree upon a time when it's time to have that online discussion, because what I didn't share, Laura, is that our process is totally human driven. We have a staff of 75. They're going to get you on the call. They're going to listen to you. They're going to listen to your goals, your interests, your hobbies. They take all of that into account. And then they're going to go on the hunt. It's research, a lot of diligent research to find the best fit mentor for you. So we're going to agree upon a time to call. You actually call us. And during that conversation, we're just going to do a deep dive, get to know you, what you're looking for in a mentor. If you're undecided like I was, or if you really have this niche role like a zoologist that you want to be, tell us what it is, and then we'll go on the hunt. It can be, depending on how detailed you are in that application, Laura, it could be we actually come to the call with a potential mentor because, you were in lots of details. Or it could be 4 to 6 weeks because it's a very niche type of role and maybe we need to go find the best mentor. So we'll talk you through that when we're on the call with you. We'll talk you through what our pool looks like, how fast we can potentially get a mentor for you. When we've identified who we think is the best fit, then you let us know. Like if we miss the mark, tell us. If you're like me and that was like Dana, all caps, yes. How fast can I talk to Dana? Holy cow, I need her in my life. She's phenomenal. So your choice. Again, my spouse is an example. He needed an intro call. He wasn't really sure. As soon as he met his mentor, he's like, oh yeah, I need this person in my life. So these are all the things we can talk through. Once you have both agreed, because it's a mutually agreed upon relationship. So once the mentor and yourself agree to work together, we make that introduction, and then we actually check in with you again at 2-week mark, and then every month after that, to make sure we're kind of like that accountability partner. Hey, are you working on your goals? We're checking in, making sure you're on track to meet those goals that we talked about in the beginning.
Fantastic. I love that you said it's a human connection. It's all powered by humans, which
Yes.
is so much needed right in today's AI slash technology slash fast and furious sort of a moving pace of application processes. But the fact that you actually get a call by someone and you get reached out, I love that. Thank you. So I can't wait for my call, of course, if I'm considered eligible. Although I'm already a lot out there into the season, but I definitely want to remind everyone who is out there to please take advantage of this great opportunity to participate and get an ACP mentor. The link is down below. If you have any additional questions, of course, if you don't want to post your comments or questions, you can reach me or reach us in the neighborhood. Right there is the link for our community where you can go and find more support, read more about it, maybe create a discussion a little more into detail, or send a direct message to the Blue Star Careers admin and we'll support you directly. So I hope that you can engage with our ACP partners, American corporate partners, of course. Military spouses, get your mentor. Service members, get him a mentor. It's a whole year long experience, but not only a whole year, because Leslie has her mentor after 6 years, right?
Yes, we're still in touch. We
So
sure are.
it's a meaningful relationship forever and ever. So it doesn't stop just because the time or the clock says that. I mean, after all, we're all adults here. And so after we convene or we shared some great insights about our current work challenges or history after this year, you have the power to stay and engage with not just them or that one mentor, but other ones as well. So anyway, this has been a great discussion, amazing empowerment. Thank you, Leslie. And to our community, please help us reach 500 members. 500 members, military spouses. We all know someone through our ombudsman community, through our army teams groups, to our Marine group, to our military spouse best favorite Facebook pages, or when you see someone out there who is struggling or is looking for, say, hey, go to our ACP and get your mentor and your support there. Any
And
last
Laura,
minute?
if I
Go
could share something what not to do. I actually messed up part of my mentorship, and it was totally on me. So I like to share this of don't do a Leslie, don't play a Leslie. And that is, sometimes I felt like I would be wasting my mentor's time. I felt like, what do I have to bring to this conversation? I'm mom of four, and they're going all four cardinal directions. I'm in the middle of the desert. I don't have anything to bring to this conversation. I don't want to waste her time. Don't do that. I promise you, you are worthy of the call. You're not wasting anybody's time. They are volunteering for one reason, to see you succeed. They only give them one person to focus on. And I was robbing my mentor of the opportunity to do the one thing she was trying to do because I wouldn't get out of my own way. So don't delay. If you're having, hitting a rough patch, still take the call, because chances are they've hit rough patches in their journey and they might have the tools to help you get out of it, right? So just don't do a Leslie. Take the call. Don't self-select out. I promise you're worthy and we can help.
Absolutely. Thank you. I could have not wrapped up this better than you like that. Don't do it, Leslie. Complete your ACP mentorship call right now and help us reach 500 plus more. And don't limit ourselves to 500, beyond 500. But for
Mhm.
sure, we want to just reach that goal. That's Leslie's and myself. Goal for this month, and we still have a couple more weeks to do that. And so, along with all the rest of the members who have already joined, join them. This is going to be a great summer for your career, for your journey,
Mhm.
and most importantly, for your personal discovery towards better career options and understanding where you really lined up with your the whole military spouse life, but also better in life, which trust me, it gets really good. Two veteran spouses, very seasoned spouses here, it gets much better. So you definitely will need a mentor. So engage. All right. Thank you so much, Leslie, for your time today. Thank you. Thank you for all of the support. Happy virtual wives out there in the Midwest. And of course, Pacific Northwest says hello as well to you. So thank you so much. This has been a great discussion. We look